So hi, my name's Allysa, as you all know, and today I'm going to talk about 3 of the 7 habits of the highly effective people. And they are being proactive, seek first to understand, then to be understood, and synergy. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself first. I'm 23 years old. I have 2 kids, as most of you know. My 14-year-old little brother also lives with me, so that's kind of hard. I'm a parental figure to him. I'm a full-time student here. I'm almost done. I get my associates in business in June, and that sounds so good to say, so here we are. And then I currently manage a furniture store part-time, so that's pretty interesting. My boss is kind of a micromanager, but we're getting through it. So I'm really busy, but I can't have my life any other way because quarter after quarter, as I look around at the rest of you, I hear so often, like, I shouldn't have waited, right? I shouldn't have waited. So I'm here now. I decided that I was gonna live challenged to my wits now so that later on in life, I can live the life that I wanna live because I've put forth the effort to actually have that life. So that's kind of where I'm at. And what got me about this book is that Covey didn't really just start out by just like, here's a bunch of 7 habits and let you go off on your own. He really laid the groundwork to find out who you really were inside. And right off the bat, I realized that I suffer from a lack of balance. And I'm often just like spread too thin. I get myself overbooked. I'm a yes person. I can do everything for anybody, anytime, all the time, whatever, I'm there. So I had to really kind of reel myself back and understand that people were kind of losing a sense of who I was because I was clouding so much of my joys in like being productive. So I learned early in life that if you want to get really, really far, you could get pretty far by having a nice smile. And I learned that from my mom. And I watched her get by with only hers for so many years. And now I look back on her after falling to a life of drugs and uncertainty, and I ask myself, like, what does she have to offer? And maybe I don't know what she has to offer because she doesn't even know what she has to offer. And so, it kind of like wrenches me up inside. She's been living her life so superficially. She uses her interactions as a stepping stone. And as an adult now, I have fallen victim to this. She only calls when she needs something, and then when you need something, they're not around. Like, all right, thanks. So, let's end that story with, thank God Dustin's with me. So I have geared my life towards being proactive. And I've tried to avoid the path that she has gone down. And I thought I was doing everything okay. And then on page 41, Covey says, is getting more things done in less time going to make a difference, or will it just increase the pace at which you respond to the things and circumstances that cause problems in your life? And my mind literally exploded because it was like all this time, I was like, I'm gonna be proactive, I'm gonna do things quicker, I'm gonna get it done. And I was just creating more work for myself. I wasn't enjoying the interactions that I was making while I was doing that work, Cooking dinner should be fun, involve your kids, have them in the kitchen. I wasn't doing that because it was like, get it done, get on to my homework, do the next thing. So this book really grounded me. I went back to this quote, the proactive approach to a mistake is to acknowledge it instantly and correct it and learn from it. So the new way that I assign proactivity in my life is that I listen to those around me and I prudently decide like where my time should be placed. Do I need to do that right now? Do I need to teach somebody how to do that so I can be more efficient later? Or does it need to be worried about? Is it even important? So to really hear what they're saying, my second habit, I need to effectively practice. And it's habit number 5, seek first to understand. And so I often confuse this habit with being sympathetic, which I have a really hard time doing because I'm a big believer in the choices you make place you where you are. And so I have a hard time sympathizing with people who are self-sabotaging, right? You make choices that aren't in line with who you want to be. And to me, I kind of have no patience for that. So I had to really pay attention to the fact that being empathetic is actually just understanding other people's feelings and having emotional intelligence. Like, how do your feelings make me feel, right? And how do I react with that? And how can we interact while we're all having these crazy feelings that we don't even know what they are half the time? We're just all mad. So I can be an attentive listener, and I often respond with like stories associated with my own life because I always grew up thinking that people don't want to feel alone. But oftentimes, like, it's quite opposite, right? We just have to give them psychological air, and then they usually come up with the best conclusions on their own. So I really learned that about this book. I believe that the root of most conflict is whether you're understood or not. So if you provide a platform for somebody else to be understood, then they in turn will provide a good platform for somebody else in the future, and then probably even eliminating their communication barriers altogether. So it all starts with you. Like I said, I have a difficulty with this habit because I always think that people are just making up excuses, or that it's circumstantial, or they could find their way around it and they're just choosing not to. So I had a hard time with this habit. But that's going to open us up to talking about synergy, right? The whole sum is greater than the parts of that involved. It circles around to like being open enough for people to trust you and reliable enough for them to commit to you. And so in my life, I love the power of differences. I love different perspectives from diverse backgrounds, but my issue often lies in the face of those who look like me and who have situations that are like mine. Because in that instance, I'm like, well, I've lived it. You know, I've been in that situation. I grew up hard. I had a crappy parents, blah, blah, blah. So if you live that too, I don't see how you could have any different answer than I do, right? But that's wrong. So I kind of have to look past that and realize that you guys really do have a third alternative, and I shouldn't be the ass in assuming, so that's not okay. And if I really want to like be with you guys and I really want you guys to trust me, then I have to be open to what you have to say, or I'm going to be labeled as a bulldozer my whole life. So throughout the course of reading this book, I really found that it was common sense, you know? And so mainly I want to leave you with a sense that if you act in line with the principles in your life, things are going to happen the way you want them to happen. And mainly I want you to leave with these three messages. Family is important, so make time for them. I don't care if the dishes are in the sink. Nobody cares. Your kids will not remember that, okay? And then second one, not everybody is preaching a sad story to gain something, so be patient, all right? And then somebody else has a better idea than you. I don't care who you are, where you've been, what you've been through, who you know. Listen to them. Always listen to them, right? And then lastly, take care of the golden goose that produces the eggs, because if you don't, those eggs are not going to come. Thank you.